It's December 4th, 1872. You're a sailor, halfway between the Azores and Portugal, and through your spyglass you see another ship. Which is normal, except something's off. Her sails are set wrong. She's wandering. Yawing left, then right, like nobody's holding the wheel. You hail her. Nothing. You pull alongside and shout. Nothing. So you row over, climb aboard, and find out why nobody answered. There is no one on this ship. Not hiding, not dead in a bunk. No one. Anywhere. The ship is the Mary Celeste, and you already know her story. Or you think you do. The version everyone's heard goes like this. The boarding party found breakfast still warm on the table, steaming cups of tea, a cat asleep on a locker, 10 people gone mid-bite, like the ocean simply deleted them. It's the most famous ghost ship story ever told, and almost every detail in it is invented. The real story, the one in the actual court records, is stranger, because the fake version at least sounds like magic. The real one sounds like something that could happen to you. Let's meet the people the legend keeps erasing. Captain Benjamin Briggs, 37, from a family that basically ran on salt water. Sober, experienced, religious, not a man given to panic. He brought his wife Sarah along and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia. There was a melodeon on board so Sarah could play music in the evenings. I mention that so you feel it later. The ship left New York on November 7th, 1872, bound for Genoa. 7 crew, all experienced, all with clean records. Cargo, 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol. Not the fun kind. The kind that fuels lamps and, occasionally, this story. For 2 weeks, she fought heavy weather across the Atlantic. And then, on November 25th at 5 in the morning, someone wrote a completely ordinary entry in the ship's log. Position: just off the Azores. Weather. Heading. Nothing else. That entry is the last trace of anyone aboard the Mary Celeste. Ever. 10 days later, the crew of a British ship called the Disappearance found her, 400 miles away. Read that again. For 10 days, with no hands on the wheel, the Mary Celeste kept sailing, alone, roughly along her own route. The ghost ship wasn't drifting, she was commuting. So what did the boarding party actually find? Not warm breakfast, that's Victorian fanfiction, and we'll get to the man who wrote it. Here's the real inventory. The crew's belongings, still in their quarters. Oilskin boots, pipes, tobacco, things no sailor abandons. 6 months of food and water, untouched. The cargo, all 1,701 barrels, still there. So, not pirates. Pirates don't take nothing. Now the things that were missing. The ship's single lifeboat, gone. Launched by the look of the rail. The captain's navigation instruments, sextant, chronometer, gone. The ship's papers, gone. Someone chose what to grab. That's not people being deleted mid-breakfast. That's an evacuation. A fast one, but an organized one. And 2 details that matter more than anything else. There was 3.5 feet of water sloshing in the hold. Sounds dramatic. It isn't. A wooden ship that size could take that and shrug. And one of the ship's 2 pumps had been taken apart, disassembled, mid-repair. Hold on to that pump. It might be the whole story. The Disappearance's men sailed her 800 miles to Gibraltar, expecting a salvage reward and a thank you. Instead, they got Frederick Solly Flood, the Attorney General, a man who could smell a conspiracy in an empty room. He accused the crew of getting drunk on the cargo and murdering the Briggs family, the cargo that was undrinkable industrial alcohol. Then he accused Briggs and Morehouse of staging the whole thing for the insurance. After 3 months, the court found evidence of exactly nothing. No blood, no violence, no fraud. 10 people had stepped off a working ship in the middle of the Atlantic, and the law's official conclusion was a shrug. So what actually happened? Time to run the suspects. Mutiny, no violence, no theft, and the crew were hand-picked family men. Dead end. Pirates, again, they took nothing. Sea monster, Bermuda Triangle, she was nowhere near the triangle, and krakens don't launch lifeboats. The lifeboat is the problem with every spooky theory. Monsters don't let you pack a sextant, which leaves the explanation most historians now circle. Remember the cargo? When it was finally unloaded in Genoa, 9 barrels were empty. 9. And here's the detail I love. Those 9 were built from red oak, a porous wood. The other barrels? White oak. Tight. Red oak sweats. Alcohol vapor had been leaking into a sealed hold for weeks. Now put yourself in Briggs's boots. Rough seas for days. Water in the hold you can't measure because your sounding pump is in pieces on the deck. And then, from below, fumes. Maybe a hiss of venting gas. Maybe a small thump of vapor igniting. A flash that burns nothing but tells you the hold might be a bomb. You have your wife on board. Your 2-year-old. What do? You do the sensible thing. You put everyone in the lifeboat, tied to the ship by a long line, and you wait a safe distance to see if she blows. It's cautious. It's smart. It's what a good captain does. And then the wind picks up, the sails fill, and the line doesn't hold. Now you're in a 14-foot boat, watching your ship, your food, your water, your floating world sail away from you at a pace you cannot row. The Mary Celeste didn't lose her crew to a monster. She simply left without them. The ocean did the rest. No wreckage from that lifeboat was ever confirmed found. Sarah's melodeon crossed the Atlantic 3 more times. Nobody ever played it again. Oh, and the warm breakfast? In 1884, a young ship's doctor published a short story about the case, dressed up as a survivor's confession. Invented meals on the table, invented everything. Readers took it as fact, and the legend never recovered. The author did fine, though. His name was Arthur Conan Doyle. He went on to invent Sherlock Holmes, the world's greatest solver of mysteries, created by the man who made this one unsolvable. And the ship herself? Nobody wanted her. Sailors called her cursed. She burned through 17 owners. In 1885, her last captain deliberately ran her onto a reef off Haiti for the insurance money, and botched it so badly he was caught, tried, and ruined. The cursed ship's final act was taking one more crew down with her, financially. Now, the bonus round, because if you think 1872 was a one-off, the Pacific has its own Mary Celeste, and it's worse. October 3rd, 1955. A small motor vessel called the Joyita leaves Samoa for the Tokelau Islands. 25 people aboard. A 2-day trip. 5 weeks later, she's found. 600 miles off course. Everyone gone. And this time, the details don't whisper. They scream. The radio, tuned to the International Distress Channel, but its range, thanks to a corroded wire, was about 2 miles. Someone called for help that could not physically be heard. On deck, a doctor's bag, surgical tools, bloody bandages. The logbook, the sextant, the firearms, gone. The people, never found. Not one to this day. But here's the detail that breaks people. The Joyita's hull was lined with cork. She was, for all practical purposes, unsinkable. And she proved it, because that's exactly how she was found. Half-flooded, listing, and floating. 25 people abandoned an unsinkable ship in the open Pacific at night, injured. Whatever they saw, whatever they believed was happening, staying aboard was the one thing guaranteed to keep them alive. And every single one of them chose the water. 2 ships, 83 years apart, same ending. The vessel survives, the people don't. And the lesson hiding in both is not about the sea. It's about the moment a captain, a careful, competent, sober captain, decides that the thing keeping him alive is about to kill him. Fear doesn't have to be right. It just has to be convincing. The Mary Celeste got an explanation. Fumes, a broken pump, a snapped line. Probably. The Joyita never even got that. So here's the question to take with you. You're on a ship you think is sinking. The math says stay. Your gut says go. Which one do you trust? 10 people on the Mary Celeste trusted their gut. It was the reasonable call. It killed them all anyway. If the sea's going to keep secrets like this, the least we can do is tell them properly. Subscribe. The next story is already at the dock.